Howdy friends, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. Today I'm going to be showing you my vegan and cruelty-free eyeshadow palette collection. So this is in preparation for a project pan that I'm starting that I'm going to post on Friday. So I'm not going to mention it in this video, but I'm just going to show you all the palettes because I am going to start depotting some as well. So here they are still together. I do have two that are depotted and I'll show those also. And I'm also doing a 20 and 2021 project pan that's not really related to this, so I will link my project pan playlist in the description. Let's go ahead and get into it. I'm just going to start at the top of my stack here. The first ones on the top here were these e.l.f. bite-sized shadows. I really like these. All the shades are okay except for like these matte greens. They're not bad, but not the best. So they're worth it, I think, for the price, especially for the shimmer shades. So up next I have these two from Milani. So the first one is called Partner in Crime, and then this one is called Outlaw Olive. I don't know if you can see that in there, but I'm not opening this one because one of the shades shattered while I was like moving it on my desk somehow. I don't know, I just looked at it one day and it was broken. I don't know how it happened. That has literally never happened to me. I have never broken an eyeshadow before. Swear. But this one and Partner in Crime I have been using for the past few days. I used it in my last Get Ready With Me, and then I've just been kind of focusing on it, like getting to know the formula kind of, and this is actually really, really good. They blend incredibly well. Like if you want a really soft, like neutral kind of eyeshadow look, I would definitely go for this one. And I used the Outlaw Olive once before, I think. It was okay from what I remember. This one has shimmers in it, and this Partner in Crime one is all matte, but they do blend really, really easily. I'm not sure if I want to fix this one or if I'm just going to dump those pieces out. I suppose I could still use it because it's not like it exploded. They're in pretty big chunks, so maybe I can just put them back and then be careful with this. Maybe. Crows outside having a pretty heated discussion. Anyway, so this next one is the Makeup Revolution Ultimate Nudes Light Palette. So I've had a bunch of Revolution stuff sitting on my makeup desk here for a while. I think I got it earlier this year, maybe late last year, and I haven't gotten around to using it because I took a break off of makeup, but I am slowly trying them. I don't think I've tried anything actually that I got from Revolution, but oh well, it's fine. So I have not used this one yet, but this comes in different tones. Those crows are still going, oh my gosh. But I wouldn't necessarily call this a nude palette. Like half of the shades are purple, but this comes in different tones, so there's a light, a medium, and a deep, I believe, if not more than that. I'm not really sure their process behind this. It kind of looked a little bit different on Ulta's website. Most of these shimmers are like the same. And then these two colors are pretty much the same. Like why? I wouldn't have bought it if I had seen that they were all the same. So we'll try it. And this is from Lime Crime. This is one of the newest palettes that I have as well. They had a pretty big sale recently. Like don't buy Lime Crime unless it's on sale because they have like at least 50% off sales all the time. So I got a couple of their palettes, and this first one is the Venus 2. I haven't, still got the little plastic thingy in it. I haven't used it yet. But I liked a lot of these colors. I definitely used the mustard and the green, maybe the red and the orange. I'm not sure about this sparkly black though. It looks cool in the pan, but I know it's probably not going to be good once I put it on my eyes, so we'll see with that one. I do like the Lime Crime, like the packaging, but it's really bulky. It's like twice as thick as other eyeshadow palettes. And this next one is the Venus Immortalis palette. So I got this one because I don't really have a cool toned or like a gray palette that I remember. There are some in another e.l.f. palette that I have that'll be farther down in the video. I wanted this mostly for like Halloween type of looks because sometimes I'll want like a gray or something to do like contouring and shading. And ColourPop has one, but I'm still iffy on ColourPop. Like, I don't know. But I'm on a no buy anyways, so it doesn't really matter. So here is the inside of the Venus Immortalis palette. The next one is one of my favorites. So I discovered this brand. I had heard about them for a long time. I had no idea that they were like cruelty-free, vegan, anything. And then they were on the, oh, I thought it was messed up. Never mind. Anyways, I found out they were on the Logical Harmony list when all of the support for Black-owned brands kind of started last year, and which stinks that it only started last year, but you know. But this is the Glamlight Street Taco palette. They also have a bigger taco palette. They have like all kinds of food themed palettes. I have one more. It's actually on the bottom of my stack, but here is the Street Taco. I have made a dent in a few of the shades. I really like them, and the neon colors like this green and the pink and orange really show up that color on my eyes. Glamlight's formula is absolutely amazing. Like at first I kind of thought they were a little bit gimmicky because of the packaging and stuff. I saw this and I thought it was messed up, but that's part of the, I guess it's supposed to be sour cream because this is a taco. But I thought like usually if a product is gimmicky and like has some kind of funky packaging, the product itself is not good, but that is not true with Glamlight, so I highly recommend their stuff. This is a newer one as well. I've used it once when I did a Get Ready With Me with it a little while ago. This is the e.l.f. Chipotle palette. I know this is sadly discontinued. It was like super limited edition, and I have not seen anybody talk about it since it came out. So here is the inside. It's laid out like the Chipotle ordering station, if you will. I want to get some more use out of this one. Well, I do have a plan for the Project Pan to get more use out of all of these, so stay tuned for that. We're about halfway done with the palettes here. This is another new one from Revolution. It is the Forever Flawless Birds of Paradise. It took me like 20 takes to say that when I hauled this in a video before. Here is the inside of that, and it drove me insane. Like, it looks to me like the rows are not straight, like, or columns. Like this column looks higher up than this column to me, but I don't think it is. I think they're even. But again, I've not used this one yet. I honestly don't have high hopes for this. Like, I've kind of heard pretty mixed reviews, mostly not great, about Makeup Revolution. So we'll see if these are actually good, because I really like bright colors, and I mean, I got plenty to pick from, but you know, I just would hope this one is good because it was pretty affordable. And I've got a few from September Rose Cosmetics. They are another Black-owned brand, and they are from the UK, but the shipping and everything was really fast. The price, like even after the exchange, was still good. So this first one is the Slush palette, and this is probably the one I've used the most. I used it a lot last Halloween when I did some looks. So here's the inside of it. So I've made a pretty good dip in this lemon and lime shade and then this orange soda one. The pigmentation on this is great. It blends really well. I would definitely recommend if you're looking for a rainbow-ish palette. So it's not like the Roy G. Biv rainbow perfectly, but I feel like it's a good mix of like colors that are in between. Then we've got the Slush 2 palette. So this is the most recent one that I've gotten, and I don't think I've used this one yet. But it's got a similar layout to the Slush one, but these are all matte and they're slightly different colors. So like this one has a true red, whereas the other one has like a more berry or wine kind of red. And the packaging on this has changed if you've seen it before. They were out of stock of it for a while, but I think that's because they were like redoing the design on the outside. I do really like these style of palettes because they're really thin and easy to store. And then this is a great neutral palette. This is the Brew palette from September Rose. So that is, they have the 3 palettes and they also sell lip gloss, and that's it. But the palettes are fantastic. Like if they have a bundle of all 3, I would get them if I didn't already have them. I've made a little bit of a dent in a few of these. I'm surprised that I have not used more of these shimmers. There's only 2 shimmers in here, but I feel like that's a good amount, to be honest. Like I only really use shimmer on like my lid. Sometimes I'll use it on my crease area, not very often. So I feel like 2 is good, and this Cold Brew shade is fantastic. Like, this whole palette, if you didn't need any more neutrals, is worth it for just this shade, I swear. Then I've got one from Colored Rain. I also have one from Colored Rain that I have depotted, so I think I'll show those last. But here is this one. It's the Vivid Pigments and Shadows palette. It took me forever to get this palette, okay? Because it had been sold out for a while and they restocked it, but then they must have like miscounted them or something because I ordered it one time and then didn't get it because it was out of stock. But I finally got it, and then like the day I bought it, it was full price. I was like, well, I want it and it's probably going to sell out. So I went ahead and bought it, but then the next day they had it half off. So I was like, oh well. Colored Rain is another black-owned brand. Like the black-owned brands are killing it in the eyeshadows, okay? Because I did not have this many eyeshadows before I found that Logical Harmony list of black-owned brands. So these are like bold, intense, rainbow kind of colors. And some of these I've used before. They can stain, but that's normal, I think, with these kind of colors, especially in a vegan formula, if they don't have carmine. And I believe this used to not be vegan, but now it is. This has some really great shades. I think this is one of the only like really good quality neon yellow shades that I have. These two like peachy ones are really great as well. The next two are from Ace Beauté. Ace Beauté again is another black-owned brand, and I have heard mixed reviews of their palettes also, but I think they're good. So this first one is the Nostalgia palette. Here is the front of that one, and then I just think this is a cool palette with all the different color selections. Like this green right here was pretty unique, and I really like this pink right here. It kind of reminds me of the pink popsicles. Some people call them Otter Pops, or like Ice Pops, the ones in the like the plastic tube thing, you know. I don't know why, that just reminds me of the pink one of those, which is my favorite. This one has some of my favorite shades in it. This is the Oceanic palette, also from Ace Beauté. This is all blues and greens. This green right here, perfect. My favorite like khaki green kind of color. It's called Seaweed. And then these shimmers are really good as well. Also, I really love this shade Bali. It's kind of like a periwinkle. Ace Beauté has quite a few more palettes on their site as well. I don't know, they're all kind of like in different formats. Like I know these two are pretty similar, like as far as the palette layout. The other ones are a little bit different, so I don't know if they're the same formula or not. This one is a little bit older. Well, it's not like super old, but it's the e.l.f. J. Kissa To The Rescue palette, and I decorated it with the little stickers. And this is a rainbow palette, but to be completely honest, it is not the best rainbow palette ever. Like the shimmers are more like pressed glitters to me, which is okay for some. You know, sometimes you want that, sometimes you don't. But some of the shades are okay, like the red, orange, yellow kind of, but the blue and purple are meh. Like I've made a huge dip in this purple right here because it would not get opaque on my eyelid. And the mattes, especially the darker colors, are really hard and or like they're stiff and they don't pick up a lot of pigment. But this one is sold out. It's limited edition, so I can't get it anyways. But the eyeshadow brushes and this topper, this one, the Suki To My Heart topper, this is fantastic. Palette, not my favorite, but I feel like I could use it for something, like some kind of Halloween or like, I don't know. And this one is also from e.l.f. It is the Opposites Attract palette, and this is the oldest palette that's currently in my collection. I had a ton of eyeshadow palettes before, I don't think this many, but I had a ton before, and that were like KVD, Jefferson, Starship, Too Faced, and some of them were not vegan either, so that's why I got rid of them, but I got rid of pretty much anything that I had before this one. But did I say what this was? This is the e.l.f. Opposites Attract palette, and they have quite a few palettes with this format, and the formula on these is pretty good. And I've hit pan on this guy right here from my Project Pan, and a lot of these shades have a dip because it is my oldest palette and it's pretty neutral, especially this warm half here. I'm surprised I didn't hit pan on this shade called Witty. Like I was saying with that Lime Crime palette, I used this as a contour if I did like a really harsh look for Halloween or something. But these palettes are really good quality if you don't want to spend a ton of money on a palette with a bunch of different colors. There's, I think, 4 or 5 different palettes. Also, I forgot until just now, I have a whole list on my blog of vegan and cruelty-free eyeshadow palettes and links to them. Why didn't I think of that at the beginning of this video? This one is kind of sort of a palette, kind of not. It's a build your own palette from Lethal Cosmetics, and I really want to get more use out of this because the formula on these is insane. But I just haven't reached for them because I've been trying to use other ones. But here are the shades that I picked. I actually did a whole video about this palette as well, like organizing them and kind of arranging them by color, and this is what I came up with. I didn't really pick certain colors when I made it. I just picked, how many go in this? 24. I picked 24 shades that I liked, and I didn't really care if they like had a theme. I just picked them, put them in my cart, and then I decided to arrange them, and they went pretty well together. Okay, the last actual put together still palette is this Glamlight Ice Cream Dream palette. I forgot what it was called until I looked at the back. Again, with their like slightly gimmicky packaging, but the formula is amazing. Here is the inside. Some of the shimmers might look like I've used them a lot, but I really haven't. They are so creamy. It looks like when you dip your brush into it to get some off, it kind of moves it around a little bit, so it looks like it's been used a lot more than it has. I've used this maybe 3 times because I have too many other ones. And this one I kind of feel overwhelmed with all the colors in it. There's 5 times 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 30 shades in here. I'm pretty sure this is my biggest palette, besides my magnetic one. I would recommend this palette if you're looking for a pastel color variety, and it does show up on deeper skin tones. They have swatches on their site and on their Instagram and stuff. And then I have 2 palettes that I have depotted that are in this giant palette from Colored Rain. So right here, all of these are the Colored Rain Juicy Boost palette. And that palette itself is magnetic, so you can just pop these right out. You don't need to melt the glue or any of that nonsense. And so I put them in here. I kind of wish I hadn't because I kind of forget about them, but also it saves a bit of space. And I have a bunch more Z palettes that I can maybe move some around into. And then the last palette that I have is over here. This is the Aether Beauty Joshua Tree palette. And I just kind of mutilated the palette. I don't know what. I popped the pans out with a spatula thing and didn't get them warm or anything first, and I destroyed half of them. But now I have the Z-Potter machine thing that helps with that. So I'll do another video on that soon when I decide like what I'm depotting next. Stay tuned for Friday's video. It's going to be my new project pan that I'm starting at kind of the same time as I restarted my 2021 project pan. But I really need to get some use out of these eyeshadow palettes, and I feel like that will help quite a bit. I'm getting my 2nd dose of the vaccine tomorrow, so I'm glad that I went ahead and filmed this today because I'm going to be out of commission probably. So don't forget to check out my blog at abbyhuang.com. I'll leave a link to the eyeshadow palette post below. So give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. That really helps me out. And also leave a comment. Let me know if you have any of these palettes or if you have any from these brands. If you've watched this far and you haven't subscribed yet, just go ahead and do it. Like, I have new videos every Tuesday and Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. I just changed it, so I'm trying to get used to it. It's not rolling quite as well as my last schedule. Tuesday, Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The links to my social media, my business, and my blog will be in the description box below, and I will see you guys in the comments. Bye.